This picture shows the start of the original boathouse. Harry J. had designed it with the main dock parallel to the shore, with a high bridge out to it. Our boats were parked inside between the dock and the shore. You can see in the picture the dock under construction in the early 1950s. Our two boats would just fit between the shore and the dock. It's nice to have your boats under cover. It saves on the bailing, so the next step was a boat cover. I climbed a big white pine for this picture. In the early years, we pulled the boats up underneath the front part of the cabin for the winter. This was a big job, so we enclosed the boat shelter, included shutters, and installed lifts. Here you can see the lifts and the storing supports. On the left, you can see a diving board, which was salvaged from Augustana when the college replaced theirs. There was one major problem with the arrangement. There was a rock at the entrance, which became exposed in low water years, making it next to impossible to drive into the boathouse. Harry spent hours chipping away at the rock with little success. In 1983, the boathouse was well over 20 years old. It was still standing, but the rock was still there, so we convinced Verna to spring for the lumber for rebuilding the boathouse. This time with docks perpendicular to the shore and with deep water at the entrance. The first task was to dismantle the old boathouse. The middle picture shows it in progress. We wished to reuse as much of the lumber as possible. Lots of friends and family had a hand in this project. Before starting, I actually put 1x6 paneling on the ceiling of our cabin. We really bit off quite a bit that summer. Dismantling the old boathouse involved not only the structure, but the rock-filled cribs which supported it. We got permission to cut spruce trees for new logs that would make up the cribs that supported the new boathouse. In the top picture, I have one of the logs we cut and skinned out in the woods. Don H. is waiting with the brace and bit we used to drill 2 3/4-inch holes in each log. This was probably the least favorite part of the whole process. We had no form of electricity at the time, so it was all by hand. Don did more than his share, but I don't think he's ever forgiven me when the very next year I purchased a generator. The drilled logs were threaded on rebar to form the cribs. Several boatloads of rock were needed to fill and sink them. Aligning them was a bit tricky, and they did not turn out perfect, but things still worked out okay. We made stringers out of long 2x8s, which we nailed together 2 at a time. These were fastened to the cribs. Planking was 6-foot 2x8s. The resulting dock was U-shaped and ready for a house on top. We used most of the old siding as well as the poles from the boathouse for studs. Everybody got into the building act, and I remember my crew being a little miffed when they realized that the new wood was much easier to deal with than the old. The rafter 2x6s are going up. We used several sturdy spruce logs for ties and lift supports. We were still using shiplap for the roof in those days, and there was a lot salvaged from the old boathouse. The bottom picture was taken very close to the last day before we had to leave for home. The shingles are almost on. Here's the finished product, a testimony to what hard work can accomplish. It was pretty level in those days, but the main thing was that there is deep water at the entrance, so we can use it no matter what the level of the lake. Of course, within some bounds which we have yet to see.